You're not being very honest with me right now.
What do you mean?
Because that's not what happened. And you know that. I know what happened, and I'm giving you the opportunity right now to talk to us and tell us your side of the story.
You're watching Totally True Crime.
Totally True Crime.
Today's case takes us to Florida in America. Anthony Tomaselli was a former barber who lived in a beautiful part of Florida called Palm Harbor. He loved watching TV shows like The Wheel of Fortune and watching sunsets. He had Italian heritage and he was a religious man, often praying in both English and Italian. His favourite drink was vodka and Coke. In 2015, Anthony found himself living alone after his live-in girlfriend passed away. Anthony was 85 years old. He had 2 daughters, Linda and Mary Beth, both of whom were in their late 50s in 2015. He was showing early signs of dementia, but he was still able to live life, and he got enjoyment from it. Just a few weeks after Anthony's girlfriend died, his doctor called his daughter Linda to tell her that her father had a mass on his lung that needed to be investigated. He had previously had lung cancer, and Linda and her sister Mary Beth feared that it was back. Other than the mass, Anthony was fairly well for a man in his mid-80s, so he was surprised when his daughters told him they wanted him to move into an assisted living facility. He didn't want this, and he didn't feel like he needed this either, so he refused to do so. The sisters had even started to look at facilities and got everything in place for him to move into one, but he stood his ground and told them he wouldn't be going. But these arguments about where Anthony was going to live soon ended, because at 5:53 a.m. on the 6th of March 2015, the sisters awoke to find their father unconscious on the couch. He wasn't breathing. The police arrived with the paramedics, who tried to revive him, but sadly, they were unable to, and Anthony was pronounced dead. His online obituary reads, Anthony Joseph Tomaselli was born on June the 3rd, 1927, and passed away on March the 6th, 2015, in Palm Harbor, Florida, and is now under the care of Serenity Gardens Memorial Park. A new normal started to form. Lisa and Mary Beth had their father cremated, and they were now trying to live without him. Fast forward to February 2019. Linda Roberts was with a man who remains anonymous. We'll call him Mr. X. The pair were having an intimate relationship, and one night, when the pair were sat on a sofa, Linda tells him that she's been having nightmares about her father. Mr. X probes her and asks why, and she decided that she couldn't take it anymore and told him she needed to confess something. She starts telling Mr. X how she and her sister Mary Beth had put sleeping pills in her father's drink. Mr. X realises that Linda is starting to confess something very serious, so he hits record on his mobile phone.
This is very hard for me, Anthony.
I know.
I've never told anybody this.
I guess not.
And obviously, I would
you
deny it if you ever told anybody.
This man realises that this confession might be the only chance that he will ever have to prove that this conversation happened. So he starts to ask Linda about the details as he tries to figure out who the instigator of this murder was.
Why would I tell somebody? What good is it going to do? You said the body's cremated.
Yes, it's cremated.
Your father's cremated.
We've already been through an investigation. The police.
Who investigated?
The police were there.
The police of where?
Okay. Well, so let me tell you. He lay down on the couch.
Wait, this was 7 years ago?
4.
4 years ago?
Yeah.
You killed your father 4 years ago.
Do you have to say it like that?
Well, but
And
that's...
don't just say it to me, because it was my sister too.
And Mary Beth.
Correct. We euthanized him. We didn't kill him.
Well, euthanasia is not legal.
Well, it is, because hospice does it all the time. They give you the lethal dose of morphine. I've seen it. I've done it myself.
No proof that Linda had seen somebody euthanize someone in the care sector ever came to light. But the guy quickly goes back to the murder in hand.
So you think that if you take it upon yourself that your father is suffering and no medical, but he was at home, he wasn't taken to the hospital, you think it's upon your... Look, I'm not trying to give you a hard time, but did you really think it was upon yourself to decide whether he should be euthanized? I mean, they arrested that Jack Kevorkian guy.
He didn't want to go to the place that this beautiful place that he was going to go live in.
Did you guys discuss money before you did this? How you could inherit?
No.
It had nothing to do with money?
Nothing to do with money. It had to
Are
do
you
with
sure?
what we were living with. What we saw, and the doctor had just told me, your father has a massive cancerous, his whole lung is full of cancer. He may have 2 months left to live.
Linda is lying here. Anthony was never diagnosed with a terminal illness.
But there's been miracles in the past.
Okay, so what do you want me to do now? Go confess to the police?
I didn't say to do that. Only you know what will set you free.
Nothing will set me free. So then why do you think now what are you going to do?
What do you mean?
That I've told you.
I can't believe that you murdered.
Not me. Me and my sister.
I can't believe
Don't
that
put it just on me. We made the decision together as a pack.
She's a dumbass. You're the ringleader. You know that. The first person to think, let's just euthanize him, was you. You know that. And she agreed.
No, it really wasn't.
And she agreed.
No, that's not true.
Oh, you both said it at the same time? You went
actually,
1, 2, 3, let's euthanize.
We both decided at the same time, because actually, you don't know my sister. My sister has a temper 10 times worse than I do. See, you don't know if this ever got out and my family found out.
I'm not telling your family. What the fuck is that going to do? It's not going to bring him back.
Bring him back? Are you kidding me?
Right.
They would probably try to put us in jail.
Well, they will put you in jail for murder.
I said, just put him in a little bit of alcohol. 6, 7 of them. And stir him up. Because he was waiting for a drink.
A beverage, alcohol?
Yeah. Vodka. So, what does she do? She makes a drink this big.
Mary Beth?
Yes. Instead of making a little drink, she makes a big drink. Because the 7 Halcyon, I think it was Halcyon that he was taking, which are very strong, would have been plenty enough to just let him go to sleep and sleep peacefully. So she makes a drink this big. Well, he can't drink a drink this big. So I looked at her and I said, you fucked up. I said, so she already handed him the drink. He takes about 4 swigs of it, 5. And in about 15 minutes, his hands started shaking. He was dropping his prayers that he was saying, his holy cards. But I knew he didn't have enough in his system.
Enough what?
Of the Halcyon.
What is Halcyon?
Halcyon's a sleeping pill. It's strong. It's as strong as you can take.
I really wanted us to focus on how this man is coaxing details out of Linda. He's doing everything the police are going to need in order to arrest her for homicide.
Wait a minute, your father was taking Halcyon on his own even though he's losing his mind?
No, the doctor was giving it to him. He was prescribing it to him.
To your father?
Yes.
But your father was overusing the Halcyon?
He told the doctor, I'm going to take what it takes to put me to sleep at night.
And his doctor said, okay, do what you got to do?
Yeah. He's basically my
And then since you and Mary Beth knew that he was overtaking it, you thought that would be the way because it wouldn't be suspected that you gave him the halcyon because he was overdosing himself.
Right.
Okay.
Despite the possibility of Linda going to death row, Mr. X goes to the local police department and tells them that a woman he was having an intimate relationship with has confessed to murdering her own father. But in a further twist, the police say that they need a confession from the other sister as well, Mary Beth, in order to arrest and charge them both. Mr. X agrees to wear a wire and see Mary Beth to get her to confess, because he already has a bond with her. Because he's also in an intimate relationship with Mary Beth. Mary Beth confessed to Mr. X that what her sister had said was true, but said that Linda was the instigator in this murder, and not her.
So this case began 2015, 4 years ago tomorrow. Deputies were called to an address in Palm Harbor. And we were called because it had been reported to us that 85-year-old Anthony Tomaselli had passed away. And reported by his daughters, Linda Roberts, who is now 62 years old, and Mary Beth Tomaselli, who is 63 years old. There were no signs of foul play, no signs of criminal activity. Nothing didn't indicate anything other than Anthony's death was of natural causes given his advanced age and his medical condition of having dementia and having cancer. The death was classified as natural and the case was closed. On February 13th of 2019, so a few weeks ago, we received a call from a male subject who stated that he had become friends with Mary Beth. They developed a sexual relationship, and Mary Beth subsequently introduced her sister, Linda, to this same male subject. Linda is married, but the male subject and Linda Roberts began a sexual relationship as well. The male stated that he had noticed some, as he described it, as, quote, odd behavior by Linda, and that it was obvious to him that something was troubling her. On February 12th, Linda asked this male to come to her home, and when he got there, she told him that she, meaning Linda, and Mary Beth had killed their father and explained to him that they had euthanized their father. The next day, which was the 13th of February, the male contacted the sheriff's office and spoke with homicide detectives and conveyed what Linda had told him the previous day and provided us with a copy of the video and the audio tape.
Both sisters were arrested, and the police conducted interviews with both of them.
All right.
Here's a clip from Linda's interview.
So your father's deceased, right?
Yes.
Okay, can you tell me a little bit about that?
About what?
About what happened? What happened?
What happened to my father?
Mm-hmm.
The doctor, my father had lung cancer 7 years ago.
Okay.
Well, when I was there, my father he said he felt like he had a stabbing pain in his chest.
Mm-hmm.
And he had this awful cough. He said, my dad told me and my sister, he said, I don't feel good. He says, I'm going to lay down on the couch. And my sister got up and she went over and checked on him. And she yelled to me, something's wrong. Dad is not responding to me.
I don't think you're not being very honest with me right now.
What do you mean?
Because that's not what happened with your father. Okay. And you know that. And I know everything. Okay?
From a trustworthy person, you know everything?
Who's not trustworthy?
Who's not trustworthy?
somebody obviously told you something that could possibly not be trustworthy. The person is not a trustworthy person.
I know what your sister did, and I know what you did.
I don't understand.
I don't know who this person that you're talking about, but I know everything.
Well,
Tell me
my
the truth.
sister and I were lying in bed, and my father had dementia. He was calling both me and my sister by my mother's name. I knew he was dying because he had this mass in his lung, cancer. And she said to me, she held my hand and she said, I can't remember the exact words, but you can't let Dad suffer like this. And we were both crying. And so she said, can we euthanize him some way to put him out of his misery? And I said, well, he takes his double sleeping pills, so we could give him a few more sleeping pills, and he would just go to sleep.
Whose idea was that?
I don't know whose idea it was particularly. My sister and my father had been fighting terribly, and that night she took the sleeping pills.
How many?
I don't know. She probably put maybe 10, if I had to guess,
Okay.
into a big glass of, he always had a shot of vodka before he went to bed. And she made this big giant drink for him to drink. With the sleeping pills in it. He drank maybe this much of it. My sister and I both said, well, we started euthanizing him.
Understand.
We have to finish it now.
Okay, and what'd you do?
So I just got a hand washcloth.
Who got the hand washcloth?
I believe I did,
Okay.
but I'm not 100% sure. Because
Where did it come from?
the bathroom.
Okay.
And she held his nose,
Mm-hmm. And what'd you do?
and I put the washcloth in his mouth and
To block the airway?
blocked the airway. I felt I euthanized him and put him on the sleeping. I have
Understand.
nothing else to say.
No, I understand.
You are going to jail today. Okay. And you are going to be arrested. All right?
Your sister's in the room next door.
All right.
You guys have a little alone time there?
Sleep. I don't know what to say. Can I say anything?
You didn't say anything still?
Yes, I had to tell them.
And so did I. Because you told so much.
I know. It's because I thought I could trust him. I thought I could trust him.
Why?
I was having a hard time. I was having dreams.
Yeah, you
I
had
weren't
yours.
speaking to me. I had no one to talk to.
You weren't speaking to me either. Now look at us. We're going to fucking jail. My life is over.
So is mine. So we are in hell.
Of course you are. Are you stupid? At that time, we did what we felt. That wasn't for me. He may have lived through that surgery. He may have lived on for what, a year or whatever. I don't know. I don't know what his fate was. But his dementia and so forth was very, very bad.
With the real sinister motive now clear, both of the sisters were charged with the murder of their father and both of them pled guilty to second-degree murder. As more details emerged, it showed that this was not a mercy killing or illegal euthanasia, but rather a murder, because the sisters were frustrated that their father wouldn't agree to living in an assisted living facility and thought his illness and need for care would impact their lives. It was discovered that Mary Beth's adult daughter was in the same residence the night that her grandfather was killed. She'd been drugged with sleeping pills by the sisters so she wouldn't wake up. Linda Roberts, who was 64 when she was convicted, was sentenced to 20 years in prison. Her sister Mary Beth was given 15 years after she testified against her sister. The police confirmed that Linda was the instigator. Thank you for watching. If you found this video interesting, please subscribe for more weekly true crime videos like this. You've been watching Totally True Crime.